Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the SkillsFuture Festival X Smart Nation 2022 webinar series organized by SkillsFuture Singapore and Smart Nation Office. Today's webinar entitled Using Augmented Reality AR for More Innovative and Experiential Marketing is organized in partnership with NTUC Learning Hub. I'm Celestine and I'll be your host for this session. Today, we'll find out more about how companies are using AR to engage customers and build new and imaginative marketing campaigns, followed by a Q&A to wrap up the session. During the webinar, please feel free to type in your questions using the Q&A function at the bottom of the screen. The speaker will address them accordingly. Without further ado, let's welcome Nanda Ye Aung, Innovation Director of Major Studio. Nanda, please.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, let me share my screen first. All right. Okay. Welcome to the Learning Hub sections of things. Okay. All right. So today I will be sharing about the augmented reality for the innovative and experiential marketing. Okay. So I'll be sharing all my experience together with what are the current trend of the technologies and what is the current markets and the industry is moving. And then we'll follow by the knowledge sections together with the supported video, and as well as also will be followed by the Q&A sections. So meanwhile, if you have anything, you can always ask in the Q&A section on it. Right? So let me start my session set. Okay, my name is Nanda Ye Aung. I'm an innovation director of the Major Studios. I'm more than 20 years of experience in the software engineering, and I start my career as a software engineer, and then I'm working in the United States, Singapore, and Germany, and of course in India also. Mostly my core skills is doing on the industrial solutions with the technicals, the architectures to make it more driven and more innovative solutions for the products as well as also for the services. Okay. I hold my master's degrees from the computer science, and I'm a certified professional from Microsoft, Oracle's, Unity 3Ds, Unreals, and some microsystems. So currently I'm teaching in most of the international university as well as also for some government department as a consultant, mostly on the AR, VR, and all those kind of GPS and drone solutions on that. Okay. So today I will be explaining about technology, not only from the theoreticals, but also I will be mixed with my existing experience and what are the projects that we are currently doing. So I will be sharing both in the theory as well as also for the current practice that we are doing in the industries. So today's sections will be covered with the three sections. Okay, the first one is I'll be explaining about the rise of AR, then what is the AR, what kind of ARs we have it in the markets, and what is the ERB applications and all those things will be shared in the first sections. The second part is more on the experience about how we do the AR running on the web platform. So today we can run on the AR apps as well as also as a mobile application, and also you can also use the web browsers, which is mostly we use it in the Facebook and social medias, right? So you don't need to install anything, but you can stay feel and usage of the AR. So session 2 will be more on this kind of like web AR. And the session 3 is, yes, I'll be more elaborate about like the social medias and how social ARs and filters is doing on that, as well as also the KPI, ROI, and the ARs. And then also followed by the Q&A sections of the technical topics, that anything that you want to be more elaborate for us, then we can just explain you guys. So today, our main objective of this section is less technicals. Mostly, we want to share you about the knowledge of AR, and then it will be so that it will be fitted for all the audience, whoever have a technical person or non-technical persons. These are the basic knowledge of AR that you should know that, because after the COVID, we are in the new normals, and there are a lot of opportunities for the AR. And business are now using a lot of solutions on the augmented realities because of it will be reducing down the less crowded solutions instead of like teachings section. Most of our current project is also mainly on the training with the ER and all those the apps on that. Right? So I will be explaining more on the knowledge of the ER. I will be doing on the less technicals. Whatever thing is already is a deep technicals. What we are doing is we already make it like smoother the learning curve for you, so that anything that you can be see here will be much more easiest to be absorbed. But if you have any technical questions, you can always reach out to them. Okay, so section 1 is a rise of ERs. So first of all, it's like augmented realities. You know that the meaning of augmented, right, is like kind of increase, is a multiply of the realities. So what we are currently in the short one, what we can see is ER is nothing but you put the digital contents into the real life, right? So you will see all this kind of term like VR, ER. Okay, the main difference between ER and VR is you're immersive, you're in the digital walls. ER is you're in the physical walls, but you bring the digital contents into the physical wall. So that's the two difference between ER and VR. Okay, VR is you're totally in the virtual walls, digital walls, and the ER is you're in the physical wall, but you bring the digital contents into your physical walls. Right. So these are the two different things. So this today we can do all this kind of augmented reality by using with the apps, or you can start immediately using with the web browsers from your phone. So the first thing, the moment when you say about AR, the first thing that you will be come out in your mind is the Pokemon Go's. You will be noticed that in the last recent year we have this kind of game. The Pokemon Go is quite uh, hit in the worldwide. The developers, the former developer of this is from the Googles, so he know all the global GPS everything programming is very well, and then he do it all these things very nicely on that. So you will be noticed that until now there are a lot of people they are still playing on it. So you can catch a lot of different kind of Pokemons characters in the different locations of the GPS location of the areas. So you will be noticed that some people's are catching the Pokemon characters in the park. Some people is in the near the beach. So in fact, in the some areas of the some cities, the parents are very worried that because of the kids follow to the ER characters, and then they can't even see what is coming inside and all the things. So some people they may see that this is quite dangerous for the younger kids on that. So in fact, this is a big example for everybody's and say that you can use this kind of AR in everywhere. For example, in some countries, they want this kind of Pokemon Go ARs into the near their shops so that the people will come to their house, their shops. And some of the tourism companies, they want these Pokemon characters near to the tourist attraction sites so that the peoples who want to be near to the tourist attraction sites while they are enjoying the scenics or enjoying the view of it together they can also get the Pokemon characters on it. So the possibility is endless. With this content you can bring the peoples to certain locations so that it can be a merchandise, it can be a F&B, it can also be a tourist attraction. So these are the very good example of ER, and then it's also quite fun is it can participate on every age groups, every genders, every professionals or non-professionals or kid, everybody's can enjoy on that because it's simple and yet it's also attractive, right? So this is one of the good example of augmented reality, the apps that is recently hit globally on it. So the AR technology currently we have based on the three elements. The first one is you must have the information. The second one is tracker or the sensor, and the third one is a median. So AR technology is currently with based on these three elements. We make up based on three elements. We create the AR elements. Okay. So the first one is information. Like the Pokemon Go is a good example. So before we do the AR apps, we must have something to show out the digital contents. It may be a 3D objects, or it may be a video, it may be an image, or it may be some animations, anything. So these kind of digital contents must be there upfront. Okay, let's say in some of the tour in the Germany nowadays, what we can do is if you use an AR phone, you can take the picture. You can with the GPS, when you open up the AR, what they can show is they will show you how this place is looked like in the World War II. So what they have is they have a picture of that areas from the World War II and they overlay it on it. So you can see the current view and overlay image of World War II so that you notice that how the things is changed from World War II to now. So that's why I said is when you say about AR, is not only about the 3D objects or digital, it can also be an image. It can also be a video footage, right? So all the first one that we should have is we should have information that you want to use it in the AR. The information can be 3D objects, it can be video, can be image or animations, right? The second thing that we have it is you must have a tracker or sensor to work in on it. So basically, it can be a face trackers, meaning that if you saw this face, you will be if you detect some face, you can put some marks on it. You can put spectacles, you can put some of the coloring, everything on that. Or it can be an image recognition. If you saw this building, you just replicate the past image of this building. Right? So something you must have to be triggers the AR apps. So that we call the marker-based AR. Okay? So you have tracker or sensors you must have. On the other side, there can be anything like without the mark. So let's say if I want to be wear the watch or clothes, or I want to test the watch on that the different brand of the watch, then I don't want to be put the tracker or the QR code on my body. So in this case, we can use this kind of markless. So I will show it with the video in later parts. So this is just an explanation about. So you can have the AR by using with the marks or trackers, or you can use the AR without any marks on it, right? Okay, the third one that we have is a median, which means that it's a device that you want to be see this augmented reality. So mostly it can be a handphone by using with the apps or the browser, or there's a sometime that we do have a special kind of smart glass, like this kind of Microsoft HoloLens. We have the Leap glass, all those kind of special glass. It's like the special spectacles. If you put it, then you can see the AR content on it, and it can be also be helmet. So today now, some of the smart helmet, if you put it on the motorcycles, we can see all the road sign and everything's virtually in the helmet. So that's why it can be the media can be anything. Mostly that we are using the media is our iPhone, iPad, Android device, handphone, everything. So it can mostly it run on the handphone or mobile devices, or you can also use the special glass devices can be enjoyed to the AR. Right? So in conclusion, we have three component that to make the AR technology happen. First one is the media, that's the digital content that you want to be show up. Second thing is the trackers, or without the trackers, or it may be a GPS also. The third one is a media that you want or device that we want to be see or enjoy the AR technologies. Right. So the first thing I want to show is a mark-based AR. So now you will see that if you use a phone and if the phone is tracked on this kind of the plane images, they will show the 3D objects or 3D image of the planes in the air. So this is the mark-based AR. So mark-based AR, the mark can be anything. It can be your organization logo, it can be any image of it, or it can also be like QR code also. Right? It can be any marks on that, or it can also be GPS locations of that areas. So that is the thing that will be triggers the AR applications to be showing the relevant message on objects in your device, earphone or ear glass, right? This is the mark-based AR. So we need to show something, we need to trigger some images with some images or QR code or location on it. And this is the markless ARs. So these cars, the moment when you have any plane surfaces, we can put these car images on that. So this, we don't have any special images or special marks needed to show this kind of the objects. But what we are currently working is we just check with the plane. If you have any horizontal plane, we put the object on it, right? So there's no physicals or there's no dedicated marker on it. But as long as it's a physical, the horizontal surface is it, we just put the object on it. Okay. Okay, this is the mark-based AR, another kind of mark-based AR, but in this case, instead of using the images or QR code, we are using the GPS locations as a mark. So when you are in the certain locations, then we show that what are the nearby objects or places need to you, and what is the surrounding, all the surrounding objects or the buildings or any uh, things that is the information about it surround you. So all these things can be shown based on the GPS location trackers. So today, getting the GPS location is very easy because most of the cases, our handphone GPS location service is always on. So from the app, we can just read your phone locations and we can show you what are the things nearby. Let's say even if you in some applications, it can show you that, let's say if you have like a certain radius and some of your friend is around in this area, they can even show on that. If we already have a both apps installed, then they can show you that, okay, your friend is on the 2 blocks away, or the restaurants that you're looking for is in the 100 meters up front. So all this kind of information you can easily get it by using with the location-based AR. And of course, you can also get ahead of it by the information of weather condition, as well as also if there's something emergency happen, it can also be show it ahead of it. So these kind of the thing possibilities are endless. It can be your informative. It can also be your like guides, tour guides. It can also be like the advertisements, or if you're a tourist, this kind of app will be very useful on that. So by using with the app, you can easily check is that where is our. So then you can ask that what's the difference between with this one and the Google Map. Google Map is showing your location and the map, but the AR is while you are seeing the view, then you can see the label on it, which Google Maps cannot do on that. Google Maps is just only map and then just show you the things, the labels. This one is why you are with your phone, while you're seeing the live view, you can get the label on the live view on that. Right? That's the biggest difference in that, because the thing is much more alive, and then it will also be much more interesting and interactive compared with you're showing the location based on the flat map, right? Okay, so this all these technologies, like I said, it can be triggered by using with the image. It can also be using with the GPS locations, and also we detect that what is the direction that you are looking at, because based on the GPS we know not only do the uh, GPS point coordinate, but also we can tell that which is the direction that you are pointing to by using with your own directions on that. So based on that, we know that what are the things, and also we can also show the some virtual objects along the way. Okay? So it can be your virtual tour guides, or if you are doing something, if you want to take it the picture of it, and then you want to know that, let's see how Orchard Road is looked like in the last 20 years. And if you are stand right in front of the Iron Orchard, then it can show you, it can detect, okay, now you are in the orchard areas. And if you open up the apps, you will see that's how it looked like in the last 20 years ago or last 50 years ago. It can overlay with the images as well as also with the videos, right? So all this kind of the magics can be done with the AR technologies. So this kind of the AI technologies with this all these trends, we can use it in the possibility is endless. We can use the AR technologies in marketing and advertisement. So same like just now I explained to you. So you can use it to be guide that okay, my restaurant is 500 meters away from you, or you can even put the certain the virtual objects in front of your restaurants so that the peoples when they open up the AR they can see it or everything on that. Or another thing is any products, anything that you are doing, if you're marketing, you don't need to. Let's say like for the bulky item like fridge or like photocopiers. Today, what we do is mostly we do it on the catalog and then we just show it. How is 3D look like or the things we cannot elaborate in the last time. Today, you can do it on that. With this AR, with the markerless AR, you open the phone and then you show that this is how my fridge is look like. This is how my desk is look like. This is how the copier machine will look like. Later, I will elaborate more with the video support. Of course, also we can do it in the FMCG, and currently we also have some clients that some of our clients are also from the bar. So what they do is if you open up the menu, that is the AR. So meaning that how the dish will be look like, you can open up, take the picture of the marks, then the virtuals, the dish will be popping up, then how they will prepare it. So you before you order it, you know it the how the dish will be coming and look like on that. So that is a series of images, and it will also be showing all the menus, ingredient, everything, right? Which is hard to do it with the normals, the dish menu, right? So by using this way, FMCGs and the bar, your menu will become more alive than reading the text and the small picture of it. So it can become more alive and more interactive, right? So and some of the whiskey, the bottles that currently they're using is you should take the picture of it, the air, then the whiskeys, the logos can tell you the how aged is this whiskey, and what are the content of this whiskey, and all those things is also currently heavily used in the FMCG also. And for the B2B, you can use it the AR and also currently is greatly used in a lot of areas and most of our MNC the client is also heavily using the AR to show your virtual products as well as also you can even create the virtual expo. So especially like this kind of pandemic situations, we say when we cannot go to the physically to the expo, you can hold the virtual expo. So, which means that when you use the AR, then you cannot see the actual physical objects. But the moment when you just put it in your handphone, you can see all this, and with the marker, you can see all those nice products, pictures, everything there, right? And of course, heavily using currently is the educations. You can make the teaching content to be much more alive on it. When you open up the encyclopedias, you take the picture of the dinosaur will come up from the box or the books, and then it will be just walking on the books. It will be just like more alive on that. So everything that we are currently, the books we are teaching is slightly with the passive way, meaning that you have to read it, and based on the images, sometimes you have to you have to be thinking that how it look like. But with the AR technologies, by simply using with your phone, all these teachings, lessons, everything will become more alive and interactive, and you can just rotate it around and you can see every corners of the objects. So as of now, nearly 50% of our projects currently working on in the studio is more on the education and the training base, and it went very well on it. So these ARs can be run it in different kind of device. Mostly is running on the mobile devices because is today we all have a mobile devices. So the easiest way to be used and enjoy the AR is the mobile devices. And of course, you can also use the AR not only as an installation apps but also as a web AR. Means that you don't need to install the actual applications from the app store, but you can use like Facebook, like all this kind of Google's, the Internet Explorers, all the web images, web browsers can be supports the AR technologies. Okay. So the another way is for the more enterprise way of using, like some industry, especially currently heavily using on the AR is automotive industry, where all the cars and all this kind of the manufacturings, if they wear this kind of AR glasses, it will always show you what to do it and what are the items, what is this device is doing, all those kind of industrial manual, everything can be seen in the AR glasses. So as of now, AR glasses are quite expensive. It range from the least one is around from like thousands to all the way to like 5,000, 6,000 Sing dollars. So today, mostly this kind of head-mounted display and AR glasses is currently heavily used by the industry and the enterprise. So most of the people's the like publics, they use it with enjoy the AR by using with the mobile phone. Right? But I think going forward in the next few years, these AR glasses will be less and less costly, and then it will be reachable to the people hand. Because the reason why I can tell this thing is like this kind of Microsoft HoloLens, when it's come out, it's just like it's very expensive. It's about like 6,000, 7,000 like that, but now it's about the half of the prices. So within 3 years or 2 years, most of the AR glasses, the price have become half. So I think in the within few years, it will be much more easier because almost all the industry is now working on these technologies. Panasonic is working on the glass, Microsoft is working on the glass, Google have Google Glass, and of course the Facebook Meta is also using their own Oculus to become the AR. So within I think few years it will be reachable to all the publics. Even one day the way that we wearing the spectacles maybe also have an AR content. So these are the type of AR that we have it as of now. The first one is like I explained on that is the app-based AR, meaning that you need to install the applications into your phone or like tablets so that you can see the AR contents of it. And another type of AR is web-based AR. So in there, you don't need to install anything on that. You can just open the browsers and again you can enjoy that. Mostly this kind of the web-based AR is we are heavily using in the Facebook apps, the the web-based social apps we are using with the heavily using the web-based AR. One of the good thing about web-based AR is you don't need to install that. Then you can ask them that then why all the others not do the web-based AR? Because then you don't need to install anything on that. Because there's some content, right, that you need to be do it a little bit on the deep, on heavy contents. If your objects or your information that you want to show it in the AR is much more details, then we need the app-based AR on that. So that's why we still have a lot of room for the app-based AR, whereas in the web-based ARs can be less trouble for us to be using immediately on that. But if you want to make the heavy content of it, if your informations, if your objects, if your information, if your things deliver it want to be things much more details, then of course the app ARs is still kind of avoidable. And there's another AR, this is we have the social AR, it's also app-based AR, but it's provided you a immersive AR experience like this one kind of things. You can have the real view as well as also you can just add a different costume and or some kind of like the weapons or some kind of kind of vehicles that is right beside you. So it can be overlaid with your existing the view and together with the digital content, right? Mostly we use it to share in the social medias and all, or as well as also it can be used not on the technical or informative side, but also for to use it in the social communication. All right, so now let's start on the app-based AR. So, like its name, the app-based AR is an application-based AR. It can provide you all the augmented reality experience, but you need to install and download the app to your mobile phones or the tablets. So mostly we prefer on the Play Store because today Android Store is much more easier to be uploaded than the iOS. The App Store in the iOS App Store, of course, we can. A lot of that's why you may notice that some of the apps that you can be available for Android, it may not be available for the iOS because of the. It's not about the technologies, it's about the store restrictions. So if today if you create the apps, our technology is now so advanced. Last time, if you create the one applications, one apps, if you create for iOS, you have to create another version for Android and then also for the one. Today we don't need it. Our development tools are very advanced. So after you create the applications, you can export to any platform. So it's a seamless. So from the developer point or from the studio point, the moment they produce an Android, we already have the applications for the iOS also. But the only problem that most of the cases happens is iOS have certain standards that you have to follow on that. Your graphics should be so and so quality, and it should not have the similar applications in the App Store, all these kind of restrictions. But because of that, some of the applications cannot pass through to these standards, and then they cannot allow to upload into the iOS. Whereas in the Android, they have a little bit more freedom for the studio so that it can easily upload it into the Android. So most of the cases, when you store it in the Android, it may or may not be in the iOS. But if you saw in the iOS, if you saw some AR apps in the iOS, definitely it will be in the Android. Because if they meet the iOS standard, it will definitely meet on the Android standard. So these are the app-based AR that you have to be install the applications on your mobile devices so that you can use the augmented reality technologies. So now I'm going to show that one of the case studies that just now I explained to you, that let's say I am a salesperson of the printer company, and last time what I will do is I will bring the catalog and then I will show you our prospect customers that how it look like on that. But today, by using with the AR technologies, I can use the AR apps to showcase of how printers and how it look like. Yeah. So you can register it. So you can view the products from 360 degrees. And this is the mark-based AR. So if you put the marks, then you can see the life size of it. So you can, as office administrators, you can imagine that how much space the object will be taken. And you can also enjoy all the functionality of the printers virtually. How it is working on the scanner side, how it is working on the printings, how to change the toners and drums. So everything you can be freely view on it. And all these things is you don't even need to go to the showroom. You just install the apps, and then sometimes they give you, together with the app, they give you the marks, the markers. So you can download the markers, print it, just put it there. You can just see it already on that, right? So the good thing about the AR technologies, or in these cases, is you can visualize it, everything, not only the functionality, but also the size of it, and also how it can be operated. So it's not only about for the prospective customers. If you already are customers of the objects or the products, then it can also be your manual. I open up this AR apps, you know that where to change the toner, drum, where to be looked for the papers. So everything's, all the user manuals, you can put it in the AR catalog, so that it will become your virtual catalog, and then it will be guide you through all the way of, like, so you can be reduce the time of the technical support from the manufacturer. Normally, if you want to know how to use it, everything, it will be a video, or it will be manual. Manual will be very passive. Let's say if you have a video, then in the video, they just guide you all the way through, but they cannot give you all the details of the 360 degrees on that. Okay? So with that, this one is manual is in your hand. By using with the handphone, you can do it, everything's virtually on it, right? Okay, this is a second case study. This is for the home decoration part of it. Let's say you want to buy something from the shop, like IKEA or those kind of. IKEA also have some the AR apps in some countries. So what we can do is, before you buy it, you can also test it, that how it will be look like if you position these objects in your living room or in the physical wall of that. So let's say I will just show you here. So this is a markless AR. So the difference between this app and the other apps is, the other apps you need the marks to show the printers, but here, everywhere with the flat surface, you can use it. You don't need the marks. So you can zoom in, zoom out, and you can make it detailed, and you can check it how it will be look like if you put it in your classroom. So before you buy the products, you can get a first-hand feeling of how it will be look like if you place these objects position it in this area or that area. Okay? And we do have, with that, last few years ago, one of the clients that they requested us for the one applications, which is regarding with the feng shui, Chinese feng shui in the house. So what they do is, they have couple of they have a couple of rules that we have to follow it. Let's say if you put the sofa, if you turn it to the east side, how much the feng shui points can we get it? If you put the fridge to be like west, then what is the feng shui there? So in the one room, you can position it to make it until you get it the good number of feng shui for the house or the office. So that is very popular. We just showed this one as the client. We want to show this one as a POC or ideal logic on that. There are a lot of people, especially for those kind of like the home decorations company, they like it and they want to buy it because they want to put this apps as a supplement or as a gift for their condo or this kind of the house the owners, so that at least house owners can calculate, is this a good way or good phasings according to the feng shui or all those things. We can just test it out before they actually put the objects or the decks in the room. This is another example. That is okay. This is one of the things that is interesting. Is you can use the AR apps not only to show the place of the object, but also to be zoom in, zoom out. Just now I said that you can just rotate on that and which is best directions to be view it. So you can virtually move it, everything of that. So different furnitures, different objects, you can position it. You can zoom in. So this project is not actually put in there, but you can just virtually place it and then you can see a look and feel of it. Otherwise, in the real cases, in the last time, what we do normally, we will be just put the way and then no. I think this way is better. Then what we do, we have 2, 3 people, so we just carry up and then just till it. Is it okay now? So nowadays, no need to do anything on that. You can virtually put it everything confirm, nice it, like it, then we position it exactly as you want it on that. So we don't need to be like put it there first and then adjust it accordingly. No need of that. So today, one of the best thing about technologies is it can reduce your efforts and the time. So if you buy some things from the shops and then before this objects or before the furniture is delivered to your house, you can start using the apps by positioning of us so that when these delivery people's coming in, you can immediately tell that, hey, I want this chair to be this position, that place. So all these things you can be plan it upfront of that. So last compare with very different from last time. The last time only when the furnitures or all these things is coming in, then only we just position it here and there, and then we adjust it, tweak it, all this kind of thing. No need to do anything. Before you get it, the objects, you can just plan it ahead of it, right? So this is very useful for those like home decorations peoples. And if you are planning to be decorate or if you start to be creating some of the architectures set up, then this kind of thing is a crucial. And one good thing about these apps is you can do it everything without needing any extra devices. It can be done, all this planning, everything can be done with your own handphone. So this is a markless, so it can be working everywhere with the plain surface like this. Okay, this is another example about the tiling. So again, same here. If you want to change your tile and how it will be look like, then you can start replacing on that. So which other area that you want to be see it. So based on that, you can just upfront test it out that how it will be look like after you change the new tiles. So you can position it and then later you can apply it on that. So before using the tiles, you can even view it on that, how it will be look like. Because this is very important. I mean, you notice that these are the available the tiles that you can add multiple design in it. Because some of the tiles, right, if it is one plate is okay, but if you put it many things on the floor, right, sometimes it will be like it will be quite complex and it will be quite uh, how to say it. It will be quite hard to be it's changed the look and feel of it. So all these things you can be see it ahead of it. by using this kind of AI apps. So possibility is, like I said, is endless. It can be home decorations, it can be a manufacturers, it can also be a users, you can also be a salesperson for marketings. Everything is within handles, everything is within in your hand. So most of the cases, why these peoples are very love to use it in the home decoration peoples is it can give you the confidence of the consumers before they purchase the objects. They can be see that is this really fit in for your requirement or not. And the biggest benefits for both sides is before buying the things, you can even give the customers from a salesperson, you can tell us that how it will be look like before uh, he is making the purchases or buying. From the customer point of view, it's also very beneficial because before you buy something, you even can get used to it, and then okay, this is how it would look like in my rooms. In some areas of some of the condominium peoples, they even sell it up by using with their AR apps. Let's say in the outside walls, you may only see this construction sites. But if you're on the certain location of the GPS, if you open up iPad or handphone, they can show you that how the building will be look like after the 3 years of buildings, and where will be the food courts, where is the police stations, what is the community centers. So even in the nowadays, it may be just like the open fields, or it may be like the construction sites, but you can imagine what it will be look like in the near futures in next 3 years or 4 years by using with the AI apps. So this is very useful for those people who want to visualize it, how it will be look like in the next futures. This is another example that we use it for the toasters. So you can see it, how it will look like, how it is functioning, and how it is structures, and what are the core contents. Everything you can see on that without touching anywhere. Otherwise, how can we represent all this thing is inside the device, so you cannot present. But with the AR technologies, we can show it how it is built and what are the important parts. And so you are not only showing the functionality, but also showing that how actually it is built. So this is useful for the peoples, the users, as well as also for the technicians, that what other areas is control the heat, what other areas that is main area that can be replaceable. So all these things is very useful not only for the user but also for the technicians. Right? And another thing that we can be using is the for fashion, which is also huge industries that is currently using for the AR. So most of the cases, yes, we have to wear it, the clothes, and then we see in the mirror that how it will be look like, right? So, but with the AR, without touching to the any clothes, you can just virtually wear it, how it will be look like, and how it will be visualized with our the styles and everything will be mesh or not mesh. You can always view in ahead of the thing without touching any of the. So this is also very important on that. Imagine that nowadays a lot of pandemics is happening. If you're in the clothes shop, if somebody's already touched it, it's very hard for you to touch it because all these clothes you cannot be sanitized on that, right? With the virtual this kind of clothes shows, it will be very hygiene also, right? It can also be using as the good examples of the hygiene. So you can on the other sides, we have to be wear it, put it fast, how it will be look like. And from the pandemic sides, the more people touch on the things, the more people can be infected on that. So with these solutions, you can reduce down the risk of the one. So it's not only for the commercial benefits, but also for the healthcare and the safety benefits. This is one of the examples for the fashion tech. So you just scan the QR code. Each of the page, you have scan the QR code, and this is the marks there.
So fresh and clean, incandescent dream, lipstick, brandy, and hygiene. What does it mean? Rainbow gasoline. Sometimes I really like it.
So you just fold it. This is the mark. You're soft as a mark. So you can see how the image will be look like it. So you don't need to be actually touch on that. You can just put it on the body, or you can just put it on the virtual objects. It's become like fashion show, how it will be look like. So the 3D models will be showing to you how it will be look like after wearing all these objects or the clothes. All right, so far I have covered up how the marker base and the markerless base and we are using the AR, and also we can also use the AR to recognize the spaces on it, which is also one of the important and the interesting technologies that I will be showing now. So this is the LiDARs sensors. Means that AR, your handphone can be used a LiDAR sensor to scan the interior around you, and then this LiDAR is we call like light detections and ranges. So based on the light and all those things, they detect it, what is the range between this object and that object. So it can be used as a scanner around the areas, and then later you can apply all these things into your the AR apps. I will show you how this thing is work. So first thing is just on the target areas. So it will be scanned through what is the vertical surface and what are the horizontal surfaces and what is the distance between these surfaces. So you will see they are showing with the different colors. So by using with the light sensing, they are just reading the surfaces around you, and then what is this the verticals or horizontals, or this distance, the direction, position, everything is captured. So after all these captures done, so what you can do now is you can do the AR apps like this. So you can see all the images here, this on the walls, on the left and right sides. If you want to put any of the labels, because they know it based on the previous scanning, they know it that this is the surfaces. So all these things will become like your virtual guides. Right, like CR4. All this information, view, everything. If you want to show it, you just put that. So for that, all you need is just a handphone. You can scan the location first, and then later you create the AR content based on your scanning services. Right? So this is the area, the open area. Previously, I just showed you the closed area. This is the open areas. The mall, supermarket. You can put the virtual objects like this is a Christmas, for the green one. So they can guide you where is the shop that looking for by you, where is the nearest pancakes. So all these things you can easily get it by using with your own handphone. You can put the virtual objects. You can also create the GPS based, location based, the guidance. And you can also create your own avatars. And it can guide you through the shop that you're looking for. So instead of the message, you can use a 3D object to guide you through. It'll be like your virtual tour guide. Right? Okay. So far, any questions? Let me check. Is there any questions that you have? All right. So I will be answer on that. Okay. Let me try the thing. Okay, so it's a ear products. Okay, so I will answer it by one. Sure. Cool. So another section that we want to be cover up is the web ER. Okay. So this web ER is same content, same thing like the ER, but we don't need to install it on your handphone, right? So it will be just like using with your web browsers. Like I said on the before, these web browsers, web ERs can be very useful. On the other sides, it can be lightweight because you don't need to be a pre-installation, so you don't need to be have a very high end of the handphones. More or less, if the browsers is support, it will work in on it. Right? So it's happily working on the Chrome or Safari or any of the IE or any of the objects. You don't need to download anything. And then the good thing is it can be accessible for everybody's, right? So you don't need to be installed or uninstalled or anything. All you need to do is just go to so and so website. You just run it. You can start to use the ER apps already. Right? That's why the web ER is much more easy for everybody. So that no need to install. Just go to the website, just click on it, and then you can start using the ER features. So normally, when you use this kind of web ER, you can be using by using with the logos or by accessing the QR code or by using with the link or URL that is given by the ER page. The moment you just click on it, then it will give you all the ERS apps automatically, and then it will be show you the apps through the web browsers. So normally the commercials is using their logo as a markers, so or the QR code. So you just when you click it, you just reach to the website link, and then this website link is already ER enabled, so you can just start using applying. So these are the benefits of the web ER. You don't need to install or download, and it can be fastly enjoyed on it. You don't need update also. You know that today a lot of apps when we install it, it have all kind of updates here, update there, all these things. And plus, no need. The important one is it don't eat up your phone space. This is one of the main issues that today we are facing. Is after we install, there are a lot of spaces eat it up. So this web ER not eat up your phone space. That is one of the main benefits that we get it. And it can be integrations with all kind of tools from the webs. Okay? It is compatible with most of the web browsers. It's compatible with whatever the browsers that because normally when we are developing the web ER, we literally test it with almost all the possible browsers. So most of the cases it's working well with Chrome, working well with the Firefox, it's working well with almost all kind of the Safaris and all these technologies will be make sure that working well on the web. So one of the key the benefits of the web ERs is most of the cases we are spending more time on the webs, right? So in this case, by using with the web ERs, you are using the AR feature as well as also for the other web contents on it. It will also be increasing of the users rates, and you can also do the life-size ARs by using with the customers to try it, and you can also see the 360 degrees of the objects. So when all the organization that if it's already put the ERs, these are the things that they can get it, they can feedback to us that what is the benefit that we have in it. The first thing is the user can spend more time on the pages because this is seamless. Otherwise, you think of it, let's say I see one pages and then I enjoy the AR by using with the apps. So I will go out from the web pages, I go to the AR apps, run the AR apps. Instead of that, you can immediately seamlessly plan that why you may have AR web pages as well as you can also have with the others web pages. So it can be seamlessly working across in the pages, right? It will be more engagement. It will be one click, can be done everything. It will also be since this is everything is controlled in the same pages. You can also be controlling of the users the abandonness because sometimes what happens is when the users is leave from the page, it's very hard that user will come back and then buy the card, everything. So by using everything is much integrated together in the web AR, all these things can be achievable. You can enjoy the AR, same thing as you can enjoy the full content of like shopping cart, payment, everything in the one place together. So popularized industry that is currently heavily using the web ERs in our the studio and as well as all the markets is for marketing and advertising, especially they want to be launch the new products. So if they want to show the customer experience, it easiest for us because these are not these are just the prospect customers. They will not install the apps because they don't even buy the application buy the product yet. So it's very hard for the peoples who are not the true customers yet. We ask, okay, can you if you want to see my products, can you please install this app, that app? Nobody will do this. So the best way easier is, sir, please go to this website and you can see the view 360 degrees of the objects. So this is much more easier compared with us somebody to be download and install everything on the the app, with likely no chances you will be getting this kind of unless the person is really interested to buy on that. Another thing is like FMCGs. Like I have to go for like 10 restaurants. Or every day I'm eating in the different restaurants. Or every restaurant I have to install the one apps. Imagine that. If I have to go for like 20 restaurants, 20 bars, I may have a 20 ER apps, which is not practical, right? So instead of that, if it's a web ER, it's much more easier. I just open the web link provided by them, and then I can see the virtual menu of it, which is much more easier, right? So FMCG is definitely is a must because nobody will install the apps for the each shops unless we eat every day in the shop, right? Another thing is like an enterprise, the B2B, yes, it's also with the virtual expo, everything. Like this kind of virtual expo thing is we are not doing like every day. We'll be doing like once in a while, or we'll be doing only whenever that is necessary. So for those kind of one-time visiting or one-time enjoying the products, we don't want to be installed on that because later installation is also causing problems. So in this kind of cases, it's very easier for us on webs, especially this web ERs is a must for the prospect customers, right? So because you don't need to be forced the users to be install something on it. You can just give them the link and they can enjoy the full AR experience on it. Okay, so it can be the customer journey of the huge sales. Okay. So this is the modern B2B and the B2C. When you are buying the somethings, right, the first thing that we don't want it is we want the salesperson follow us and then talking this kind of things. We don't want it. So what we want is we want our silent time, right? We want to, of course, we want to get all the information about the products before we buy it, but we don't want somebody is sit beside us or right beside me and then talking about this thing is very good, that is very good. We don't want it, but we want the information. So for this kind of case, it's very useful for us. So we can at any of our own time. Maybe we maybe view it in the lunch time, or we maybe do it during after the dinners. So all these kind of things, you can take your own sweet time, and you can have the virtuous, the avatars or virtuous component that is explaining you about all the information that you wanted, and then you have your own sweet time to be thinking and decided whether I needed these objects or products need or not, right? So that is 100% in line with our feeling as a customers, which we want all the information and we want to see the products in details, but we don't want somebody is sit beside or right beside and pushing us about all the things about good thing, bad thing, all this kind of. We don't want it. We just want information, and then the judgment. We want to do it with our own myself. So for this kind of human natures, this is 100% match on it. Right. So this kind of the personalized shopping experience, you can use it the AR in the very unique way. So you can get your own personal space. You can try the objects. You can buy any of the things virtually, and you can test it with your own avatars, how it will be look like if I wear it. So you have the freedom of your space. You can do it everything. So because this is the key challenges in the sales currently, you have to give the information to the users. At the same time, you have to respect his own space on that. That's the key challenge. But this key challenge can be overcome and can be bypassed by using with this AR technologies. Right? So normally, if you're a desire to buy something, most of the cases you are looking for the information on online, right? So before you reach to the store or before you buy something, and most of the cases you already have information in your hand. When we go to the, let's say I want to buy the laptop, then before I go in and see in the laptop shops, I'm already looking for the information about the laptop, how it look, how its weight, how it will be constructed, what is the content of it, how is the useful feature of that. All these things you want to get it, and you are doing your own research. So with these AR apps, what we can do is you can get every information virtually in your hand, right? Without going to the store and without talking with any salespersons. So all your customer experience can be achieved online by using your handphone or your computers or any of your mobile devices. So after you get it, every information, all you do is you can just pay it online, and then the shipment is delivered to you. So with this kind of pandemic situations, so you don't need to be worried about physically in touch with the products and the physically talk with the salesperson. You don't need it on that, right? So you can done 90% or almost 100% of the shopping journeys by using with the AR technology, right? So most of the cases when we are going to the shop, right? This is like the iceberg. Only the actual information, the actual thing that you want to do it is the bottom part of it. So you're doing your own research, everything like that. But only for those like the few exposures that we deal with the customers, we only need to be deal with the physical shops. So like to see it how it really look like in the outside. Most of the cases, technical spec, everything is you already get it from the internet. So with this pandemic situations, this kind of solution is huge impact for the sales. The people's by sitting his own house, he can visualize it, he can see it, how it's looking, everything on that. Then he can even directly order it without coming to the shop. So the main objectives that we
Yo,
are
the whole day meeting at the family room.
okay. So okay, so let me answer it later. Okay, just paste it in the question string. So I'll answer later one by one on this. So like this kind of the home decorations, and this is the actuals that usage just now we saw in the videos. So this is actually they are selling the one cost with $70. So you just scan on it, and then you can put the first on everywhere of your house, and before you buy on that. So before you buy the objects or before you buy the products, you can even already get to apply it on your houses. In houses with all this kind of the nice graphics, everything. So this is one of the big advantages for those the salespersons. Normally, only if we buy something, then we can bring this one to home, and then we can put it there. And we notice that whether this is look nice or not. But with this one, without buying anything, you can virtually put it the products, and you can bring it to in virtually, and then you can put it in the places that you want it, and you can see that do you really want it or do you really get it? It's nice to get it on. So this is also be reducing a lot of this kind of returns rate also. Otherwise, this kind of exchange and return, all these things can be happen. But with these things, if you can get it ahead of the purchase, you get everything you decided, and then only when you farm, then you can start. So this is also huge impact for the retailers. Let me show the bicycles. Let's show you how the bicycle sales look like. Here you can see it with 360 degrees, and you can also see that what are the components and how it's constructed. And what are the different colors that can be available. So you can see the life size of it. And right in front of you. And you can view it virtually in every detail of it. Right? So because this kind of thing is important, because I'll just show that. You can see the price of it. This is 4,230. So this kind of objects is to buy the one bike with the 4,000s is a big decisions, right? So you can do it all this kind of the preview and everything ahead of it. So with this kind of the AR apps, what we can get the benefit is you can get all kind of informations, and you can even bring it near to you, your place virtually, and then see that how actually the size will be look at it, how it will be which colors is different, which color is nice or not. Right? Because in the showcase, they may have only one or two colors show up. The rest you can just only see is the color box, the circles. But with this kind of apps, you can change the colors as you want, and then you can straight away tell them that what are the colors and what are the size and what are the type that you want it. Because normally, most of the cases in the showroom, we only show one or two pieces of it. And you may need the different colors, or you may need the different customization on it. And some of the website that what they can do is they can allow you to do the customization of it. So you can customize it, what kind of resize you needed, what kind of change, what kind of gears that you want to be replaced and edit. Everything you can be do it, and you can pre-order it on that. So which you cannot be done physically in the shop, but you can do it virtually in your handphone without any uh, hesitations or without any money ahead of it. You can just do everything, you test it out, everything you like, you just mark it and send the order to them. This is also the hologram. So this AR augmented reality, you can also add the holograms for the dance. So in this app, you can add characters as well as also you can create your own avatar. Right? So it can be run on both Android and iOS. So these are the scan. Okay, you can try the scan and you can choose your type on that actually. So after you scan it, you can pick up your avatars how the face will be look like. They will create your avatars runtime. What is the skin colors, and you can even customize it, the whole face, the outfit, everything. So it will be your own avatars. So today now technologies, we can even create the features called meta-human, meaning that the technology that we can be create the objects exactly look like the human, the real human. So after you modify it, you can ask your characters to do the same thing like that. So not only like you have to be play with the character that is the studio is put it or developers put it. You can also have a freedom of creating your own characters or modifying your own characters to do the ARs, dancing or AR interactive kind of things. You can do it with that. You can create your own AR. I think by using, you just scan it and then you can try it. It is working on both Android and iOS. So the web AR, now I have already explained you about the web AR as well as also for the app ARs, right? So, so for the web ARs, yes, we know that the things can be do it without installing anything. Apps AR, you still need to install it on the things. So I will explain you what is the deals of the technology, content, and the promotion. So for the first thing you have to think in is before you creating your AR, you have to think that do you want this AR app to be download or not download? What is the important thing? Like I said, if I am a owner of the bar or the restaurant, it's more practical for me to create the AR apps in web because I may not be installing for this kind of one-time visits, right? So I may not be installed for the 10 restaurant for the 10 AR apps, which is ridiculous. So for these kind of cases, so it depends on the business or depend on the line of trade. As an owner, we have to think in that is it better to use it with webs, AR, or other apps? So on the other hand, let's say if I am the the owner of like this kind of uh, industry, like car showrooms or like car mechanics or any kind of like technical supports, then it's better I use it with the app ERs because with apps I can track it easily, and then whatever the new model is coming up, I can also ship it on that, and it will also be dedicatedly for my own customers. Whereas web AR mostly for the users for the publics and the general purpose. For the app AR, you can control it with all the login, everything, and then plus you can use it only exclusively for your own the customers. Right? So based on the nature of the business, we can think in of the what is whether you need the web or apps. And the second thing is you have to think that you have to is my customer just now like I elaborated. Is it okay to use customer handphones for advertisement or applications, or we just our content is not that sensitive enough, we just publish it in the web here. So but some of the information that you have sensitive information that you don't want to do it on the web, then it is better go to the apps. So the second options that you have to be thinking is whether this is good to use the customer phone or not. If it's good to use the customer phone, then we maybe use it with the app here. If it's not good to use or eat up the customer phone, then we will be go for the web. The third one that we will be using is like the we have this kind of appless or like spaceless. Let's say if you want, so if you don't want to eat up your the players. Okay, one important thing that you need to take note of that is is the online offline thing. If you do for the web AR, right, you definitely need internet connections, which is also one of the key construction thing in here. So do you need the app or no need? The app space no need is considered in this point. Some of the applications, some of the areas that you don't have internet connections, like is some area of the bank, some of the hospitals, you don't have a network connections. Then you want to get this AR content as an offline. So in this case, you must use the space of the locals so that the player can be bring everywhere you want, and without any connections, he can use it. All this for that, all the information you have to be downloaded into the apps. So for that cases, yes, you have to use the space of the apps. So online, offline, and if you have to use the space of the players so that the player can be get the information by online, offline, or the players okay with only get available only in the online, then you can use it this right. So these are the points that you have to decide on that. Whether the player needed at all time, online, offline, with internet connection or without internet connection, then you have to go for the app here and download all the content that you wanted so that he can use it at anywhere, anytime, even offline also. No, my content is no need to that much sensitive. It only can be available online. Yes, we go for web here. Right? And the other one is also that has to full is the content. Sometimes the one that you want to show the content is very big, and it's through the web. It will take some time. And let's say if you want to show the whole environment of it, or it's very delicate and heavy content is coming in. In that cases, instead of open up the web and load in and your internet connections, some area is not that good, then it will be bringing a lot of times to do that. In these cases, you better use the app here because the content is already in your phone so that you can easily pick it up. Right? So content size is also quite matter when you decide on that. If you want to show up a lightweight, small content, yes, web is good. But if the content is heavily and big, like this kind of virtual expo, and the expo have multiple objects in it, then it's better to go with the apps because downloading all the expo contents or all the boot will take some time in your browsers. And another thing, yes, the data also the issues because after they download, the data cost will also be high because your apps is eating the data. Whereas when you download it in your apps, it's a one-time job and you can just reuse it again and again. Right? So the content is also one of the key matters that we look into it. Right? So I think I cover up that when we use the web and when we use the apps, about technologies, content, and what kind of promotion that you want to do around that. I think you can now better understand that. Any question, anything, you just type it in. I will just answer it, everything after that one by one. So just anything when you are seeing the slides, when you will have anything pop up in your mind, just write it out. I will just answer it everything after the section. Right? I just want to be connect to the section by section because in the meantime, in halfway I answer it, then it will be just. I'm worried that it will be leads to the another thread. So let me group it up the presentation. After that, I will show you all the answer of that. Right. Okay, let me get some waters. Okay, one thing that is for the sales and marketing is you want to communicate your experience to the customers, right? So before that, any question that you have it, you can just type it past there, then I'll answer it by one, right? All right, so now what I want to be shared is the socials AR. Okay. So yes, we have web AR, app AR, and then the third part of the last part of the sections, which is the socials AR, right? So social ARs, yes, you know that we all are heavily using in the Facebooks and the Instagram, the Snapchat. Mostly we are using, and most of the people's familiar with this kind of social AR. And social AR is passed through the Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, everything. Most of the cases we are using the camera filter so that it will be fun, engaging, and we're just communicating. And sometimes we even take the screenshot of it and then we just share with our friends and relatives on that. So social media apps, mostly Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and most of the one today they are using the AR technologies for the AR filters. So most of the cases, why they use the social ARs is most of the cases is a fun and is the uses as like the utility and is another feature of it. And then it can also create the engagements between the users and the situations. What I mean situations means that sometimes, let's say it is the Christmas occasions, then you can put the Santa Claus and all those kind of things, right? So based on the situations and occasions, you can also be delivering the different filters for it, and so that the user will be more and more engaging on that. So currently, you will notice that the trending of the socials AI usage is huge up. So from 2021 all the way to 2025 is we will be getting the very huge hype. We are expecting the huge hype on the trend. So currently it's 4.6 billion of using the social AR, and then we are hoping that it will be more on that. In this year will be 5.2, and the next year will be 6.4. These are the statistics based on the social medias they are already doing with the research. How will be the trends in the next few years? And you will be notice that the people use the more social ARs when during the pandemic, when we are mostly at home and we have more fun time to use the social platform. Because more and more people are nowadays on the social platform, and then more and more AR filter is using up. So normally, social media is now become the new search engine. You will be notice that previously we search in the Googles. Today now more or less we search in the Facebooks, right? Because Google's robot is giving you the information. It's a predefined information. And if you go for the social medias, you will get in touch with, if you need something today, most of the cases, you just put it on the post. Then a lot of people's coming in and answer for you. So you already got the live experience from the people's, and suggestion is also much more accurate than the robots. So social media is nowadays is not only as a communication tool, but also become the search engine. And social commerce is also the huge topic now because of you will be noticed that most of the cases today, when we buy something before we buy it, we just check in the social media so that how other people is talking about this objects or products, how other people's is review on it, what is the thing that we need to be prepared for this kind of products and service. So social medias is a huge thing. It is we can say that nowadays like almost everything. It's a search engine. It will also be the commercial platform on it. So you can see that you can not only connect in, you can also share your experience, share your knowledge, as well as also for the share the products of it. And together with that, this kind of social media AR filters is very popular. We notice that you can change your styles. You can wear the different AR filter with the glasses, hairstylings, necklaces, earring, and all kind of makeups. Everything you can do it on that, right? So these AR filters are very popular, especially in the Facebook and Instagram. And these are the kind of AR filters. I think more or less you will be noticed that the most popular between the fashion is when you are in the World Cup, the footballs. A lot of the people, the fans, they painted their faces with the AR filters for the football team that they wanted, they like it. So all this kind of like had the glasses and the shirts, hats, everything you can just use it with the AR filters. These are the sample of AR filters. We have different objects, different fashion styles. You can just edit everything here, right? And the lipsticks, makeup, particles, you name it. I think most of you already use it, all this kind of AR features in the social medias. So one of the best thing in the social media's AR filter is it can reach to the million people within a few seconds. If one of my friends is using this AR filters for some kind of the hairstyle or like glass, then immediately he just post it in his post on social medias. Whatever the friend or friend is already it reached to that. So the reachability is very fast, and within a seconds it will be reached to the everybody's. And within 24 hours, it can be using the worldwide. So it have more engagements, and you can, if you want to get it some attentions or you just of the events or like this kind of World Cups or this kind of something new launched on the what or new launch on the car or anything, whatever thing that you want to make it like the immediate engagement is best way to put it on the social platform, right? And of course, it's fun. So when I use the social filters, social medias, AR filters, the moment if I decorate something on my face, of course, the first thing I do is just capture the screen. I share with some of my friends. Even I have a lot of the images that is I just save it from some of my friends, some of my colleagues. It look very fun and interesting. So it's really engaging and really fun. So for the platform, mostly we use the engine called Spark AR. So this is also very useful, and mostly it's run on the Facebook and Instagrams. So it can create all kind of effects, like in the virtual effects, like you can change your hairstyle, can change your lipstick color, lips colors, necklace, everything you can change on that. So the Spark Color is very useful tools, so that most of the peoples they can create the AR by their own. Right? So these are the one of the example of the Spark ARs. Right? All these camera effects, all the stickers, everything you can be using and create on it. So this is the usage of the Spark AR. So the moment you create all this kind of the virtual stickers and everything, your engagement is huge up, because normally if you see one object or one something like this kind of glass, you sell it online. The people may just like look at it or not look at it. But if they use the AR or the AR filter on it, of course, it's a ribbon, the glass, or anything. If I just want to be put it apply on my face, and I just want to show off that hey, how I might look like after I apply on the things, right? So one of the good thing about the AR filters is you can immediately share it, and it will easily be engaging with the peoples. So these are the thing that is we just do some good graph on it. Yes, for those kind of app, you get downloadables, accuracy is high, content is high. You can use all kind of face tracking, everything if you use an app. Web, no need to download, but accuracy is just an average because most of your content is rely on the browser, so you cannot be 100% rely like the apps levels. And of course, the easiest is you have to get the apps, everything in the online environment. You need to get all time the internet, right? So for the apps, yes, you only need for the downloading. Otherwise, you can also use online and offline on the both options. Web, of course, you need to have online. And social, yes, it's online, but most of the cases, social filters we use it is on the browsers based and on the apps like Facebook or Instagrams. And its content is mostly like on the average, not too high or not too low. And of course, the accuracy is also very high on that because you are using the apps inside the web. So this is the example of it. So this is the virtual exhibitions. And this is the virtuals, the food using the social ears. If you want to order some burgers, everything, you can just show it that. Yeah, I have burgers on my desk. So these are the social ears by using with the filters. So you can apply for the glass, multiple color. You can change the glass styles, glass colors, everything. And of course, you can also change the shoes. How the shoes look like. So different kind of shoes models, everything, you can just apply it right in front of it by using with the social ears. Okay, so KPI, ROI, and about the ERs, I will just share you about how we measuring the successful campaigns. So ER, first of all, ER is not like marketing tools like in the radio or TV or magazines on that. ER is something that we chooses the technologies to engage with the peoples. Whereas the radio, televisions, or YouTube or magazines or ads, it cannot be done interactive. It can pass you the information, but it cannot be engaged. Whereas AR can be engaged while they are passing the information together. So which is a very useful tool for engagements. So first of all, the first thing that we need to be think of in our mind is AR is a very good tool for engagements. When you want to pass the information and the line on it, right? So when you do the business with the AR, then the first thing that we have to think in is what is the main objectives. If you want to get past only the informations to the users, then you can use other medias. You don't need the AR. But if you want to pass the informations plus engagement, then AR is a good platform to use it. So your objective is very important, right? So this is the business objectives. The second thing that you have to think in is the users. Who is going to use? What is the audience of it? So based on the users, like if you want to be given this kind of, for example, let's say if you are the pharmaceutical industry, then with a handphone, 24 hours, you can surf internet, right? And then if you want to use it for the some products or something that is meant for the peoples which is ages between 18 to 24 years old, which is mostly most of the time that we are on the internet, that's right. Or if you are doing if the aiming for the products that is for the geek between 30 to 40 years old, and it's all for the the updated trend of fashions and technologies, then yes. So your audience is also very important. If, for example, let's say like our older generation, the golden generations, which is above like 60s, 70s, mostly they may be watching the TV, right? So in this case, if you want to be using past information, the TV is much more relevant for the golden age of that. And but if you want to pass it to the very young generations, mostly like this kind of 18, 24 years, I think most of the cases they may be in the Instagram or Facebook or the games. So it depends on the age groups. So your target audience group is different, then the technology that you use or the media that you use will also be different. And then, of course, when you create the ER, the first thing you have to think in is you have to prioritize the quality. What is the thing what is the time that you want to be used to show it up? And what are the content that you want to give it? Is it fun, or is it informative, or it is some kind of the communication that you want to achieve. So based on your objectives, then you have to be measures the plan and you have to plan it accordingly. What are the contents of it, right? So how can we know that our AR app is not walk-in or walk-in? The first thing we can track is how many people scan or download the apps, how many people's usage. So if 1 million people uses my AR through my social apps or download or scan anything, then I notice that my AR is using 1 million users on that. Okay, so the reaches is second thing is engagement time. How much time they spend it on the AR apps? If the people is heavily using and they are happily finding on the changes of all this kind of the factions or technical things in the AR apps, changing, playing around with that. If they have more time spent on my ARs, it means that I have more time on engaging them. So first thing is the download count or usage account. Second thing is how much time they spend on it. Okay. The third one that you can see is what are the impact? Is it really boost my objectives is achieved, or is it really boost in the event or the products? So based on the things that is impact, you can just measure it that what is the success rate of my AR apps. Okay, the first thing, the mainstream that we hold for AR is cost. Okay, so the cheapest, if they use it more and more technology basis, of course they'll be much more cheaper. Imagine that instead of sending to the salesperson to every prospect customers, I can deliver it one AR apps so that the prospect customers can get it all the information they want, right? So the more we rely on the technicals, yes, the cheaper the cost is on that. The second thing is the content. Instead of physical contents, the virtual contents can be more live and the quality of the content will be much more details. We can pass it as well as also will be much more updated. Because whereas in the printed media, when by the time you reach it to the customer end, it will be like 3 or 4 versions away on it. Okay. The second thing is for education. If you want to use it for more familiars or this kind of more and more people's understanding about the AR technologies, everything, then it's much more easier for them to be given on that. And of course, the experience is very different than you are reading the books and then getting the things interacting with your handphones, right? So the ARs, the playbooks can have a visualizations of experience, what you can be see it right in front of your eyes, and of course it can be directly hit to your emotional sense of that. Because when you think about that, when you're reading the news or the stories, if all the text alone, it will not be impact so much. But if it is visualize something, then it will be directly attached to your emotions on that, because you have sound, you have graphic, everything give you the sense of the realisms compared with reading the line of text, right? And of course, every years we can get it the personal experience. You can always take it your own. This is very different from like watching the movie. Movie, you stick together with other friends, colleagues. This AR with your own personal device, you can enjoy your own time on that, right? So it become like more personal thing kind of things compared with the publics. Okay, so final thought. Then what I want to be sharing these are the technologies, and then you have to stick your visions, and then yes, we have to adapt to change the world, because the technology is everything, and now we are in the new normal situations. The world before the pandemics and the world after the pandemic is very different. Before that, we are more aiming for this kind of crowded solutions, but now everything is reversed. We are more walking and looking for the solution, which is on the more personal and hygiene and the safety concerns, compared with the huge events doing with multiple engagements physically. now become more engagement. Until now, you can be now even our custins, the sections with the Zoom sections, which is safe for everyone. Back in last time, this kind of classes will be teaching in a huge classroom with all the audience, and then will be get a lot of exposures of each other's on that. Today, now delivering the knowledge is also changed. Technology has changed, so your visions, everything have to be changed according to the technical trends. All right. Any questions? Anything that let me answer on that? I think
Nanda, QR code.
yeah, one of my colleagues is already answering.
Nanda, can you share the QR code?
Okay, yes. Can anybody see here?
Any questions we can help you answer?
Any questions?
AR will be a subset of.
How can you AR extend to metaverse? Is AR a subset of metaverse? You can see that because now the Meta is the Facebook is owned by the Meta, right? So the Meta is also purchased the Oculus, the VR devices. Now they changed the VR devices to be look for the AR also. So you can say that yes, when we say about metaverse, all this kind of AR will also be coming in, because soon become like I said in before, AR glass will be within our hand. So meaning that when I wear the AR glasses, I can see who is near, my friend is nearby, and I can even live in the physical world. At the same time, I can also live in the virtual worlds together on that. Yes, AR can be the part of the metaverse. Any questions so far? Listed in the social AI example, where customer can virtually try on different shoe models. How much is estimated to do this? Okay, so it depends on the technologies that you want to use it on this, but the development cost for this kind of AR today is not that much higher on that. It depends on the how much detail that you want to do it on that. I think normally they charge based on the mandates. Let's say if you want to make it like 20 pairs of shoe or 100 pairs of shoes, the price may be different. It depends on the size of the projects. It can be a few thousands, all the way to the couple of thousands. Which, for example, it can be about like 1 or 2 thousands, all the way to 10,000, 12,000. Depends on the size of the projects. Let's say if you want to do like POC levels, and I want to do it with 20 shoes on it, just owing that the AR filter on it, it not cost you much. It can be done within less than 2,000-3,000 on that. Yes. And if you want to use it on the like social ARs, like Spark plugin, that will be much more cheaper. Normally, if you want to do it on the deep apps, which have multiple rich features, and then it will be charged more. Most of the AR projects, the minimum one is around like 1,000, all the way to about like 20,000, 30,000 is there. It depends on the size of the projects. But you can easily get it done by using with the Spark AR. It's quite easy to do it. So Spark AR can be available in both Facebook and Instagram. All right, in this case, if nobody have the questions, then okay, then what we will do is I will pass it this sections to the MC. And thank you very much for your time. And then anytime you can just connect us.
Thank you, Nanda and Rajesh. We hope you've taken away some pointers and insights from this webinar. If you need guidance on your tech upskilling journey, you can sign up for the free one-to-one skills and training advisory session with SSG's Skills Ambassadors. They will have a conversation with you to understand your needs and objectives, and it could be a new skill you're looking to enhance your employment prospects or for your career transition plans, and share with you the relevant information. These include course search and recommendations, types of assistance schemes and funding, SkillsFuture credit, and other resources on My SkillsFuture portal. There are 3 ways to find or contact a skills ambassador. Visit us at any of the locations indicated on the map. Please note the operating days and time. They will provide you with suitable course recommendation based on your career goals. Simply scan the QR code and click on the link in the chat to register, and they will reach out to you within 3 to 4 working days. We have come to the end of our session. We would appreciate if you could take a minute to fill in the feedback form by scanning the QR code. Once again, thank you for taking time to join us in our webinar. Do check out the upcoming webinars on our SkillsFutures Festival once again. Goodbye.